What if I told you that the traditional Russian wife is the most successful marketing scam of the 21st century? Imagine you're in Moscow with a stunning girl. The date is perfect, the wine is pricey, and you happily pay the bill. But afterward, total silence. Meet Tarelochnitsa, literally a plate gobbler. In Moscow, some permanently unemployed women live on dating apps just to score free meals at fancy restaurants. To them, you aren't a date. You're a walking ATM.
You're a plate gobbler, they tell me. Yes, I'm a plate gobbler, I know that. He took me to restaurants. The food was interesting and delicious. I figure why not chat, have a meal, and enjoy myself.
Oh, are you kidding me?
To keep this system spinning, you need a type of guy they call Alen in Russian, literally a stag. A clueless sucker willing to run errands or pay bills without getting anything in return. She collects these suckers in what is known in Russia as the Alen Carousel, where each one is assigned a role: the driver, the handyman, the ATM. It's a cynical rotation where guys provide the goods and she provides the illusion.
That's why it's called a simp carousel. You rotate the carousel, and from the large number of simps, you pick the one who's not a simp and marry him.
But maintaining that illusion isn't cheap. This has triggered a biological arms race where the face and body are treated as a cold business asset. In Moscow, girls as young as 18 are treating the operating table as a mandatory career investment to stay competitive in the hunt for the next sucker. In this market, identity is fluid and entirely transactional. These women have mastered selective feminism, a strategy that allows them to claim the total autonomy of the modern West while reverting to traditional values the moment the bill for a new Porsche arrives. They demand the absolute independence of a Western woman, while simultaneously expecting that the man must provide 100% of the luxury, the cars, and the vacations.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man!
But the math behind these expectations simply doesn't add up. Fueled by toxic propaganda like Sex and the City, and an endless Instagram feed of influencers and celebrities, they believe they are entitled to a billionaire's lifestyle just for showing up. The result is a market of beautiful women who are perpetually single. By refusing to settle for anything short of a fantasy, they've completely priced themselves out of any relationship. This failure to secure a relationship triggers a desperate pivot. If they can't find a billionaire to marry, they'll instead go for 1,000 men who can pay by the hour. While Moscow is estimated to have 150,000 prostitutes, the true number is likely much higher if you include women on dating sites doing occasional tricks for money. In this market, the main rule is simple: you never actually admit you're in it. What looks like a glamorous career in modeling or social media is often just a PR cover for a much more disgusting reality.
What do you do in Dubai? I do social media, content creator, blogger. What do you do in Dubai? I'm a female coach, psychologist, sexologist, and female event organizer. What do you do in Dubai? I'm a creator and organizer of wellness events. Where are you coming from? I'm coming from a business meeting. What kind of business meeting? I hooked up with a business partner. He got me a gift for Christmas. Earrings. Very good colleague. Very good business partner. What are you up to tonight? Going on a yacht with business partners again. Different business partners. What do you do for a living? I run an international business.
These dubious professions serve a dual purpose. They attract the immediate cash flow from prostitution while preserving the optics of a high-value woman. This lie protects their exit strategy. These women are cashing in on their youth while simultaneously hiding their odometer. They are racking up thousands of partners across the globe: Dubai, Moscow, Thailand, all while maintaining a paper trail of modeling, photo shoots, and travel blogging. The goal is to eventually marry an unsuspecting man who has no idea he's being asked to pay a Rolls-Royce premium for a high-mileage used Honda Civic that's already been leased 1,000 times over.
If a man wants to offer something to me, he can just buy me real estate or send me an enormous amount of money.
Bam!
This is a modern marriage trap where the demo version hooks the beta provider. Initially, she appears sweet, submissive, and affectionate, but this is just a free trial designed to lock in long-term resources. To her, marriage isn't a union, it's a quick resource extraction project. The moment the ring is on, the demo ends. Welcome to domestic prostitution. At this point, sex becomes a purely financial transaction. Affection now requires a wife's salary: the house, the car, the vacations. The moment you stop paying, the warmth disappears. She didn't marry you. She married your wallet, and now she's renting her body body back to you on a monthly basis. But it gets darker. While the stable provider grinds to fund the lifestyle, he's often being cheated on. Hypergamy doesn't pause for a wedding ring. She's already monkey branching to the biker or the personal trainer on your dime. And here's the final gut punch. Roughly 20% of these children aren't even his. They are fathered by the affair partner, while the husband picks up the tab for a kid that isn't even his. The marriage is of course just a resource extraction mechanism operating within the divorce manufacturing industry, a predatory ecosystem of info gypsies, Instagram astrologers, and pseudo-psychologists who have weaponized the female ego for profit. At the heart of this insanity is the modern Bible for the Russian woman, a bestseller by an exposed charlatan Mikhail Lobkovsky titled I Want and I Will. The text urges women to prioritize their wants above all else, going as far as suggesting that even a mother's responsibilities are optional if they interfere with her immediate desires. You can imagine what this book says about her responsibilities toward her husband. It programs already entitled women to refuse to sacrifice, stating that any man who doesn't subsidize their childish behavior is a toxic abuser. Ironically, this shyster calls himself a family psychologist. It is a factory line process. The info gypsy creates the discontent, the book validates the selfishness, and the astrologer provides the cosmic green light. By the time she leaves, she's a self-actualized warrior fighting for freedom, leaving the husband to fund her healing journey that was in reality just a brainwashed liquidation of his family. The system doesn't just sell freedom, it sells hatred. To justify the total annihilation of a family, the info gypsies and pseudo-psychologists perform a complete character assassination of the entire male gender.
We don't need equality with men. Women are not equal to men because men are such low-grade creatures that you can't even look at them without crying. I refuse to be equal to someone who refuses to evolve. Furthermore, equality will be achieved not when women serve in the army, but when we also start burning men at the stake.
Let's barbecue this motherfucker.
On social media, this manifests as a digital blood sport. You see so-called coaches teaching millions of women how to devalue their husbands, manipulate them for gifts, and feel zero guilt for the eventual destruction. They have turned the Russian household into a Cold War zone, where the husband is an occupier and the wife is a resistance fighter, waiting for the right moment to seize the assets. The internet is now flooded with videos of women gloating about the deaths of their husbands, literally celebrating their passing as a final payout, while thousands of comments cheer them on as if they've just won a war. It gets worse. There's a growing movement advocating for the mandatory vasectomy of young boys to prevent unwanted pregnancies, a radical solution that conveniently ignores the fact that simply not spreading one's legs for every passerby might also be a viable option.
Universal vasectomy for boys as a measure against unplanned pregnancies and a method of contraception. Universal vasectomy for boys before the onset of sexual activity. Reversal of the operation or retrieval of semen only with the written consent of the future mother of the child who will carry it.
Emotional damage!
Unwanted pregnancy isn't a medical crisis, but a character failure they want to fix with a scalpel. Some have even crossed the line into biological warfare, calling for selective abortions of male fetuses, or even outright gender-based genocide. If the same was suggested against an ethnic group, this would be rightly considered extremism, punishable by jail. But in the case of gender-based extermination, there is absolute silence. If you thought that Western women are terrible and considering to find a traditional wife in Russia, think twice. You'll likely be sold a used-up, hopefully former whore, all while being served shameless lies from day one. Russian women are not traditional. They took up the freedoms of Western women while taking zero of the responsibilities. So what you'll get in a Russian woman is a Western woman who will also expect you to pay up. Big time. If you just want to have fun with a Russian woman for a night or two, knock yourself out. But then it only makes sense to send her packing into the sunset. Only about 2% of Russian women can be described as marriage material. They're unicorns hiding in a system designed to silence them, leaving the other 98% to run an expensive demo version on any man foolish enough to believe their packaging. Hopefully, I've opened your eyes to the true nature of the modern Russian woman and the predatory industry that manufactures her. The sanctuary of tradition you are looking for simply doesn't exist. It's just a more expensive trap with better packaging. If you've witnessed the demo version firsthand, leave a comment below. It's time we start documenting the shit show in the open. Like the video if you value the truth over the fairy tale. Subscribe to Barely Muted to stay informed on the systemic collapses no one else is talking about. And share this with any man still blinded by the illusion. The demo has expired. Don't be the one left footing the bill.